Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited when I was given this opportunity to come and talk about our company. This is me, Michael Karuu. This is my designation. I'm a certified business brokerage. Professionally, I'm a real estate agent, both certified in business brokerage and commercial brokerage. I also am a fellow of Ustawi Research Institute. It's one of our organizations because everything that you're going to hear about this presentation is all about the research, the knowledge conversion. That is the model of our business and how we're going to proceed even as we approach taking this company public. It's all about the research and knowledge conversion. I'm the Vice President of Ustawi Biomedical Research, Innovation and Industrial Centers of Africa. In short, is UBRICA. UBRICA, U is an acronym. It comes out from one of the languages in Africa known as Swahili. So Ustawi in English is prosperity. So when we came up with the acronym, and it is very interesting because I'll share that down the road about where Ustawi came from. We were thinking about, we as the second generation of immigrants, how can we be able to empower the people we left behind from here? So when we talk about prosperity, how can we prosper intellectually and finance, package it together, and then go and develop the people we left behind? That was the whole idea behind U. So B stands for biomedical. So after a lot of research, trying to understand this prosperity we want to tap, which kind of prosperity? And from the research we did, we are able to track the remittances that comes from US and the rest of the continent that goes to Africa to develop. And from the remittances, we are able to identify the bigger percentage goes to healthcare systems. And then when we get now down to understand this health system, like the health system that I grew up with, is healthcare systems that does not exist. It exists actually in what? Healthcare system. So our focus then was everything that needs to be done in healthcare, it has to start with the whole value chain of healthcare itself. And it is all about research. When we talk about biomedical, it's about biology and medicine. When we target biology and medicine, that is a lot of research in itself. So our target is biomedical, and biomedical, you have to go through the whole value chain of research. That's where we have the R. You can go to the next slide. Biomedical, biology, and medicine. It has to start with research. Once you do the research has to be innovated. We're talking about innovation here. Well, once you innovate, it has to go to another level and become translated in an industrial environment. Centers, it must be a physical location. Obviously, geographically, it's Africa. So UBRICA stands for Ustawi, Biomedical, Research, Innovation, and Industrial Centers of Africa. So when we talk about now the whole idea of health system, we are not the frontiers of health globally. But when we went deeper to understand about what is global health, how is it defined, we realize there are two theories that focus on health globally. And those theories are one health theory. One health theory focuses on human, animals, and the environment. That is one health theory. And then there is another theory that focuses on economic health. And those two theories fight for position. Is it the one health focus or is it the economic health? And then we as UBRICA came up with the fourth element. The fourth element has now focused the economic health as the driver of the global health. So our approach in healthcare system globally is on the economic health. If we can be able to focus on economic health itself, it will be able to drive the health of the human, the health of the animal, the health of the environment. So I'll be talking more about the fourth element in the next slide. So this is now the fourth element itself. When we talk about the sustainability theory, is the one that focuses on economic health. And then the World Health Organization, they are focused on health, global health. The focus is on human, animal, and environment. And then we have come up with another theory, now focusing on economic health, which is the fourth element of global health. And our focus now on the health system that we want to address in Africa is the economic health. And we went to TEDxB in college and talked about the fourth element. And when you go to TEDxB in college, you go and talk about your innovation. They listen to it, they critique it. If it makes sense, then they release it. And I'll be sharing about the fourth element itself. But our focus on health under UBRICA is on the economic health itself. Next. How is UBRICA structured? UBRICA Inc. is a US corporation registered in the state of Delaware. And then UBRICA Holdings is a subsidiary company of UBRICA Inc. Because our focus is in Africa. I come from Kenya, and that is where our first project will commence. So what we did is to register UBRICA Holdings Limited as a subsidiary company, 60% owned by UBRICA, the US corporation, and 40%, 20% owned by two directors. And then the UBRICA Holding Limited then owns UBRICA Limited and UBRICA Scientific. So we have registered all these companies, the UBRICA Limited, UBRICA Scientific, which will focus on the medical devices manufacturing, and the UBRICA Scientific, which focuses on the real estate part of the UBRICA medical sector. And then down at the UBRICA Limited, and UBRICA Limited is what I will focus on, because this is where we have been able now to bring in the e-commerce platform, the human engagement through the cooperative society, and then the whole thing continues. And we have figured it out from even when we go public, and what we need to do, and even the operations of these companies when it comes now to generate revenue, who is supposed to do what. But the controlling organization is still UBRICA, the mother company. And we have control on all these other companies. And at the 60%, and then the subsidiary companies, I still control 20%, and my co-founder controls 20%. So we control the whole network of UBRICA. Next. So what are we going to talk about today? It is the problem that we have in Africa. And we have done a lot of research on these problems. And from the research, we have concluded what we really need to do. And I'll be talking about the knowledge in infrastructure. I'll talk about the UBRICA, the project. I'll talk about UBRICA, the conversion capability, and the whole structure of addressing the problem. Next. So what is this problem? The problem is all about healthcare systems in Africa. And since Kenya is our model approach on health, we found out from the research that the health system does not exist. It is there, all right. But then it focuses on the 20% out of the 100% population. Where is this big problem? It is, we have general shortages in medicine, hospital supplies, skilled labor, and money. And all these are components of creating a good healthcare system. That is the problem right there we focus on addressing. Continue. What is the root cause from our analysis? We were trying to answer this question, why? Where is there no skilled labor? Where is there shortages of supplies? Why there is no money in the infrastructure on healthcare systems? And we came out with the answer. One is there is no creative knowledge within the system of addressing the healthcare systems. What is this creative knowledge? It is the conversion of knowledge, the conversion of biomedicine. That is what we want, that was the why we have this problem in Africa. And then nobody has ever thought about building the knowledge conversion system. When we talk about knowledge, knowledge from the research travels from 5 knowledge conversion. It has to start with exploration. That's where the whole research starts from. From the exploration, it has to be researched. The research has to be translated. It has to be applied into commercial products that we see. It is a whole process of a knowledge framework. And if there is one missing link in these whole stages of knowledge conversion, then you miss a very important link in the whole continuum of knowledge conversion.
Is there something at the publication? That's what was missing at the bottom.
Yeah, because it has to be published. I think we expanded it a bit too much. But then, you still get it. So, where does research originate from? One, from the universities. Universities does a lot of research. We also have research institutes which operate outside the university system. We also have research from the ivory tower. The ivory tower, the politicians, business people who sit somewhere and decide this is the kind of research that we need to apply to a specific area or target market. The knowledge conversion organization, that is where the research is transferred. And that is the missing link, the knowledge conversion, whereby when you get this research from the university and then convert this knowledge to make commercial products. And this is where we wanted to address the problem of healthcare system in Africa. So that is the empty slot, the knowledge conversion. The research is there. The research in African universities sits on the benches or on the shelves once the students graduate. And somebody comes back 5 or 10 years later and reads the research and goes and starts doing something with it. So we have to fill this empty slot. And in the next slide, that is where UBRICA is coming into play. UBRICA as a knowledge converter, occupying the space whereby it will be able to convert the research knowledge and then take it through the 5 stages until it is, the research itself is made into products. Commercial products which can then be available for market, for selling, for utilization. That is what we found is missing, and that is where we came in as UBRICA in the next slide. And also on the void itself, you remember I talked in the earlier slide about money. We have the knowledge itself. In order to convert that knowledge in order to convert a molecule into a drug, it requires a lot of money. And that is the mixing ring. The money also is not there. So we have to figure out how do we figure the money in the whole process. So when we registered UBRICA, one, we authorized 2 billion shares of common stock. 2 billion shares of common stock. One is to use the 2 billion shares to acquire knowledge, or we pay knowledge through the shares and acquire assets. And we have been able to do that with the presentation, acquiring assets through the shares, and we still have not yet gone public. And then another set of shares, which are known as preferred shares. Preferred shares, in another language, is known as founder shares. Those are shares that are given to shareholders who come in to help building the company. And those are special type of shares. We also authorized the 20 million. And out of the 20 million shares, we have already issued 5 million. And 5 million, we are able to classify who gonna get these preferred shares because it is still private. And we don't want to get in trouble with the security exchange. We have also to get permission also of selling the shares. And the requirement was that we can only sell these shares to those people who have an affinity with what we are trying to solve. So we have been on that particular boundaries. So these shares have only been available to Africans because the Africans are the people who have the affinity of the problem that we want to solve in the market. Next slide. Now, when we talk about the money, it means that we have to build a capacity of how are we going to utilize the money in order for the organization to be in a very specific position of knowledge conversion. I think it's Karuu.
Go down just a
You
little.
just
Compose it so that
The slides have been off the whole time.
With the mouse. You don't use page down.
Yeah, go up
Yeah.
just a little bit. No, the other way. There you go. Or no, now go down. There you go.
Okay.
yeah.
There you go.
So the money will support the research and development and health service delivery. Once we are able to focus on building this infrastructure, then we'll be able to bring out pharmaceuticals, those are drugs, medical devices. We'll be able to set up clinics, health centers, and hospitals. I'm still talking about the healthcare system. But then this is another different approach because first of all, we have to focus on the money which will enable us to be able now to develop the system, now the biomedical system itself, the whole infrastructure, and then we'll be able now to use that and bring out the whole products that will address the shortages of drugs, the shortages of appliances, the shortages of skills. Once we got all these together, then how then do we move forward? What do we need to focus on? So UBRICA itself, as an organization, is structured on 3 pillars. We have the money pillar, because you realize from my earlier slide, money is a bigger component in the whole exercise. We have to factor the money into the infrastructure itself. So the money itself is a pillar by itself. And then the people, because we don't want to build the projects and then bring in the people. The people must be involved from day one into the project itself. So we have the people pillar itself, and we have built the people pillar around a system so that they will be able now to be part of the UBRICA project from ground zero, even as we continue to go. And then we have now the projects, very specific project pillar. We focus on project independently, and we focus on the people will be the consumers of the projects. So we have to bring them out as early as what we have been doing for the last 4 years. And then we have, first of all, to figure out where is the money coming from. So how is then the 3 pillars structured? When we talk about the money pillar, that is where our currency, the UBRICA'S, the cryptocurrency, is being addressed on the money pillar itself. And I'll still talk about how we came up with the cryptocurrency and went outside the normal traditional way of borrowing. And then, how is the people represented in this whole mix? The people, 80% of now Kenya population are classified as informal sector. The informal sector is the population that makes money for themselves. They are not employed. And they are very vulnerable now to diseases because what they do and then take it to the marketplace, there is no marketing system which exists. It is I, me, and myself. So there is no organized system.
So they're bartering entrepreneurs.
Yes. So when it comes now to the market itself, we have a big problem, because if the government is depending on the 20%, those who are employed, those are the ones who are taxable. The government can be able to tax the 20% because they are in the government payroll or in the business system whereby the taxes can be caught. But in the 80%, those are outside the taxable bracket. So when they get sick, they end up in hospitals, but they don't have money to pay for the health care. Why? It's because the kind of businesses they do is not capable of funding the health care system itself. And we are calling that kind of market a rotten market. Rotten market in the sense that if we look at the agriculture sector itself, they produce so much in the agriculture sector. But then when it comes to the marketplace, they don't have buyers for the products. And you know agriculture products are perishable items. So when they perish, and all the effort was on producing the potatoes, the French, anything, then they end up in not having money. When then diseases attack them, they cannot be able to pay for the health care. But then it's not that they are not up and willing to work. They do, they work, but it is never translated into money because they cannot be able to sell what they produce. So that is why we are, and that market is, it actually has a name. It's known as a stupid market. And in our language, it's known as Soko Mjinga. Mjinga is stupid market. And stupid market is somebody produces 3 bags of potatoes and then comes in a middleman and buys 1 bag of potatoes and it takes the 3 at the price of 1. That is a stupid market. And then the other 5 bags of potatoes goes to waste because there was no market to consume. And then goes to the intelligent market where we have the big malls, the supermarkets, the same potatoes which is perishing in the villages, then there are potatoes imported from outside. So the market for consumption is there, but there is a dislocated market. And that is why we are bringing in now an intelligent market known as Soko Janja. Soko Janja is an e-commerce platform whereby we are bringing in the 80% to start trading within themselves. So if somebody from one part of the country, there is poverty in one part of the country, and there is surplus on that one part of the country, but there is a disconnect in between. So what we are bringing the Soko Janja is a connector so that somebody can be able to buy 1 bag of potatoes and then it is transported to the other part of the country, and then we have a specific amount that is put aside to gather for healthy farming. I'll talk more about Soko Jaja. This is an intelligent market. It's an e-commerce. Look at it like an Amazon of Africa. And then the projects is the UBRICA'S Clinic Center. Those are now clinics. Once we make our people, we give them the capability of marketing their produce, and out of the produce there is a percentage that is put aside for healthy fund, then they can be able to access clinic without paying with liquid cash, because they have prepaid it through the sale of the produce. And under the project, then we have the video clinic centers, we have the science technological parts, and then we have the biomedical center itself that forms under the project. Let's go. So Soko Jaja is the e-commerce platform. It is the one that connects the people. It is the one that they will be able now to sell their produce, but UBRICA, the organization, is the one which is organizing the market for them. UBRICA will be able now to drive the buyers into the platform itself, and we have done an extensive groundwork on this. It is up and running. People are now able to sell and buy under the Soko Jaja platform. And we have been able, or we are in the process of registering 14 million Kenyans, 14 million families from 47 counties. The country Kenya is distributed into 47 counties, and we are registering 300,000 per county. 300,000 per county. They only require to sell an equivalent of $3 per month of a product through the platform. And that $3 is put aside for the healthy fund. And then they are given a card to consume health care into the clinics. So those 300,000, then we have organized them in the next slide.
So you've already got 14 million signed up?
That is our target.
Oh, your target.
Yes, but we have started registering per county, 300,000 per county. 300,000 per county, we are talking about at the $3 per month out of 300,000. Do the numbers. We are able to put that money aside under a health fund. So
$1 million per county.
$1 million per county. And $1 million per county, that is enough money to guarantee health care for the 300,000. Because not all of them will get sick on 1 month and consume the 1 million. And they are busy now working because they know whatever they are producing, they are able to sell. And we have structured them in such a way, which I also discuss about it, that the focus is first of all for them to understand that here is a solution. Whatever they have been producing has an outlet. And since our focus on health is on economic health itself, the focus on economic health is first of all make them, whatever they do is profitable for them. And in the process, put aside a percentage as a healthy fund, and then they consume our healthy care. How is this structured? If you look at the graph here, at this structure, the member produces a product. It comes in the UBRICA'S Clinic Center. Look at UBRICA'S Clinic Center like a Walgreens or a CVS, whereby it has a medical clinic, a pharmacy, and then it has a lab, a grocery store, and then we have put in a workshop. A workshop is for value addition of the product. So when the member produces a product, gets into a grocery store, and then gets into a workshop itself for value addition, and then we add just a small percentage for shipping and handling, it goes to the market, and then part of the money, or the bigger percentage of the proceeds, goes to the member itself, and then the $3 goes to the health fund. This is a model of the kind of health clinic, because it is built around, depending on each particular county. And we got all those data from our research with one of the largest universities in Texas A&M. This is one of the model of the kind of figure they wanted us. They brought it out that in our little system, we will have a health clinic, there will be a cooperative workshop depending on particular county. So when you are coming in to bring your produce, once you take it to your produce, you get into the clinic for checkup. You are not required to pay any money because already you have prepaid with the last month produce. Let's keep on going. But then we also wanted to involve the government itself. Kenya is an evolved government system whereby there are county government and then there's a central government. From our research, we also realized that the central government allocates specific funds to women, to youth, for doing projects. But then there's nobody to organize the women into specific projects. So at the end of the year, majority or the bigger percentage of the funds goes back to the central government because it has not been utilized. And here we, as UBRICA now, we are organizing the people into groups, a value chain of groups. If you produce this kind of product, we build 200, a group of 200, and then we name that group, and then we link it to the county government. If it is a women group, say, okay, you have this particular fund for women. We have a group of women here, and their focus is on knitting, on embroidery, on anything that they do. So you can be able to fund this project, and then the money goes to the UBRICA infrastructure specifically for that women group. And then you are able now, on the market side of it, focus on how you will be able to market the products that have been made by the women. And also the youth. So you are still seeing the knowledge conversion is still getting into now the area of doing business. So that now UBRICA, everybody in that particular county enrolls into an organization known as a cooperative organization, because it has to have an entry point. And in Kenya, they know very well about cooperative, but the kind of cooperatives is a cooperative that's where you put in some money, and then at the end of the month, you can borrow that. But the way we have brought out our cooperative is a marketing cooperative for you to become, to have an access to sell your product through the e-commerce platform. You must belong to a cooperative society. And since the county government and the central government understand the cooperative system, we have been able now to break through the barriers of being pushed back by the county government, because we are riding on what they know, but our focus is healthcare. But then we organize even the funds that we are going back to the central government, then we channel them into utilization through the several groups which have been targeted for being uplifted or empowered by the county government. But then we channel it through the products or whatever they do, and then we organize them to bring all those to the workshop, and not leaving behind that we still have a very good affiliation with the universities in Kenya, whereby we want also, because there's a research component I mentioned earlier. That research, which is also done in the universities, it comes in through the UBRICA system of the knowledge conversion. So we tie the university, we tie the county government, and then we have the cooperative society, which is the marketing cooperative and then we hook it up with the Sokojaja, the e-commerce platform. So we have been able now to build that whole infrastructure and getting in the county government indirectly into what we are doing without them even realizing that our focus is on healthcare. This is a model. This is a model of how the UBRICA Clinic Center is. That in the middle we have the clinic surrounded by, if it is a meat cooperative, a dairy cooperative, because the county itself has different ways they earn their money. So depending on a particular county, what they produce, we create a workshop specifically to address that particular need in that particular county. But it is ring-fenced around the clinic itself, and then the pharmacy, and the workshop, and the grocery store. And also something else which also came out very clearly was, in a particular county they produce maize. They consume maize. And there's another part of the country which is very rich with fish, like near the lakes, Lake Victoria, which is the largest freshwater lake in Africa. They consume fish, and the other part consume potatoes, the other part fish. There is no balanced diet. So with the UBRICA infrastructure, and we are able now, through the grocery store itself, in every county, we'll be able now to include whatever is best from each part of the country, and then organize as a workshop to educate now the 80%, because that is our focus on balanced diet. And then they are able now to make sure that even locally they are able now to consume whatever was going to waste. That is a model of a UBRICA Clinic Center. Let's keep on going. So now we don't want to own the UBRICA Clinic Centers in achieving the goal of developing the healthcare system itself, because it's all about the patient, the doctor, the hospital, the lab, the pharmacy, the health insurance. It is all incorporated. But what the beauty of the cryptos is they have what we call a smart contract, which define exactly upfront what needs to be done, and you cannot change it. So this smart contract is what we first of all developed under UBRICA. And we were able to build it under Ethereum, because we have, when we talk about the cryptos, we have two types of cryptocurrencies. We have the utility, and our UBRICA is a utility crypto, and then we have a security coin, which now from the security side of it looks at this is money that has to be controlled. Our cryptocurrency is a utility token whereby the users will be able to consume the healthcare system we are building. That is what they will be using it to access the healthcare system. And this slide talks about what smart contract is all about. I won't deal with it in details. It's a lot of information, but I'll still leave this information with a lot of details in the group so that you can still access it.
Have any of you ever dealt with cryptocurrency before? Or even tried it? You have? Tell us a little bit about it, Jelani.
Probably not enough to tell you about it.
Did you make money, lose money?
So it was really my dad like kind of showing me, because he was like really into it at the time, especially when like it was like becoming like vastly popular. But I don't know, he kind of let me experience like him, I guess watching how I don't know, just watching how it increased or decreased based off that. You make money off of it and stuff like that, so yeah, I got to experience it kind of secondhand.
So you look at trading and buying and selling, and you look at whether you're going to get appreciation or not, right?
Dollars, yen, it's like that. when it is about trading. Like when Bitcoin, which is the first crypto that came into the marketplace, it was 80 cents of a dollar. 2017, it had gone up to 20,000. And then it went back, it went down. Today it was trading at 3,800. It has been fluctuating 3,800, 4,000. But the whole idea of trading is buy when it's low, sell it when it's high. Even if it drops, don't sell. Because when you sell, then you are losing money. It goes even with stocks. My background is stock market because that's what I used to do before I moved to this country. And the whole idea of the stock market is you buy low and sell high. The market will find its position even if it goes down. It will get up to a position whereby you can still make money. Because that is, I call it investment is risk on money.
But what they're buying here is not necessarily money, but it's access to the healthcare system.
That's it. And that is how we have structured it. And I'll talk about in the next slide how it is structured. This token, once you get hold of it, and we have done a good job, because when you issue the coin, there's a process known as initial coin offer. Initial coin offer is when you build the community of users. And the community of users use a lot of advertisement, a lot of road shows, and then you sell it at that particular price in the beginning. So whoever now gets hold of the coin at the initial stage, in most cases become the beneficiary of the value of the position. But then, remember in my earlier slide, when I talked about Ustav then was tap the resources, both intellectual and finance, and package it and then go and use it to develop Africa. We realized, and this actually is coming to, if we got the traditional way of selling the coin at 50 cents of a dollar, who will end up in holding the coin? It will not be the majority of the focus of the target market. It is the people who want to speculate on it. And our coin is targeted on utilization, not on the trading perspective. The trading itself is coming, but the whole idea was to use it to access, to use it to sell your products, your services through the e-commerce platform. You'll be able to trade it. Even the way we have structured it in our e-commerce platform, you can buy the products by US dollar, by Kenya shilling, or the UBN. And the UBN is converting into either the Kenya shilling or the US dollar. But as it continues to grow, that's when we want them to take it to the trading platform. But before we did that, we realized then, if now we go to the traditional initial coin offer and sell it at 50 cents of a dollar, because that is the price today, then it will end up into the hands of the speculators. And by the time we start now getting it into our target market, the price will be, and the beneficiary will be the ones who got the coin when we launched it. So instead of doing that, go to the next slide. This is now the 10 billion. And the 10 billion, we have allocated 10% of the 10 billion to developing the e-commerce platform, the Sokojana. And then the 20% is for community development. And then 20% is to build the UBRICA retail clinic centers. 20% is the science technological parts. And that percent is for biomedical industrial sector. Now, for everybody to know what UBRICA is all about mobilization. And that's how the normal ICO the model is developed. Sell it, advertise it, let people know about it. So what then we had done initially was, first of all, give the value of this investment to our shareholders. So our shares split May last year. They split 4 times. So the one who had put in, let's say, $2,500 5 years ago, and bought 2,500 shares because the share was going at $1 then, today has 10,000 shares. And then we also allocated 200 coins per share. So the one who had invested 2,500 is holding 10,000 shares of UBRICA'S stock and 2 million shares of the UBRICA. And then at that time we had figured, if all our shareholders are holding the UBRICA, that will be enough to drive the value of the coin. Until later we realize it is not, and I'll talk about what we call the medical flow. It is not the holder, the units which are held by the individual member that drives the market. It is the number of the holders of the coin which builds the network. So the 20
And the holders of the coin at that point are probably more investors than they are your 80%, right?
correct. So we decided, instead of selling through the initial coin offer, we are going to give it away. So we are giving 20 billion, 2 billion coins to 2 million Kenyans, free. So those are the ones who have the first approach in utilizing it. And that will drive the value itself because they will start using it in the Soko Jaja, the e-commerce platform, by buying and selling.
So you're giving them the coin
Yes.
as an incentive
Incentive.
to hold
Yes.
for their investment.
Yes.
But when you explain it to them, what they're really doing, you're holding this, that's just for your security.
Yes.
But what we're really going to do is help you market your products through these different networks.
That's it.
Okay.
And that is what we have done and we have been doing since last year. And this
It
is
should be
where
marketed
it
to
brings
our healthcare people.
the medical effect on Unicon distribution. Because the value of the network equals the number of users squared. This is a theory that we studied very well and it is making sense now to us. So
Is it kind of like a pyramid?
it's like a pyramid. So like if we give you 10,000 coins, that's what we used to do. 10,000 coins, you are supposed to distribute it to 9 billion. So you have
And then
opened up
they
9 ones.
distribute too.
Then it keeps on getting distributed, and you are not paying anything for it. So once we have created the number of users, then we have a distributed network of users. $10,000, and we have been doing this for the last 6 months now. And we have not yet brought it to the exchange. We are bringing it actually to a close on 31st of this month. So that we start now educating now the community base, all the holders of the coin, now the next stage of utilization of the coin.
Do you give them actual real coins?
It is a digital.
So you're doing, it's the digital.
It's a digital coins.
I didn't know if you gave them like real coins
No.
as just you know, a token or
Yes.
something to hold on to physically see it.
Correct.
Because do all these people understand digital?
Yes. You know the first money transfer happened in Kenya. It's known as M-Pesa. They started sending money through the phones. And they started paying the services through the sale without even touching the money itself. And this is what we are using here now. I don't know what, do you have somebody using a cash app?
Yes.
If you go to the cash app itself, you go to the cash app, you find something you have never looked at. Go to your profile. On your profile, what do you see?
On your profile, I don't know what I'm supposed to look at.
On your profile, that's where you have the system, the payment system, where you have the bank, how you pay the money to the bank.
Yeah, cash, Bitcoin.
Where is Bitcoin in there? The Bitcoin is inside the payment system of our system. And the whole idea is you can buy the services with the Bitcoin, which is the cryptocurrency. So where we are heading, when we launch the UBRICA'S, we launch it under another currency known as Ethereum. Ethereum is convertible to Bitcoin, and you can be able now to use Bitcoin and convert it into a fiat currency. Actually, money has is designated in two ways. We have the cryptocurrency, and then we have the fiat currency. The US dollar, the pound, the Kenya shilling is a fiat currency. The Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency. Now, you are able now to exchange the Bitcoin, which is the crypto, into the US dollar. And that is why we are driving now the UBRICA'S. It will head into the cash app, whereby now you can be able now to exchange it into Bitcoin. If you want now to have the fiat currency, you can be able to exchange it into a fiat currency. The issue is how many of Bitcoin are you going to exchange it into the other fiat currency? Because right now, the Bitcoin is 3,700, 1 to 3,700 US dollars, 1. So ours is 50 cents over dollar. For us now to get 1 Bitcoin, now we have to exchange with so many coins. That's why we have not yet brought it into the exchange, because first of all, you want to drive value of the coin in such a way that if you want to utilize it into conversion and get the fiat currency, then you don't have to spend so much. Next. If you click the first link there, this one will show you how now since we launched the crypto, this is how it is. It is being distributed globally. All those are now UBRICA'S holders. And from all those links, you can be able now to compare with the other cryptocurrencies in the market and see how it is being consumed. This will be, you'll be able to do it after, once I leave it. But then go to the other link.
I think he may be on his, just go escape that, and maybe it's behind it. Did you download it, or is it on
Yeah,
your?
download it.
You downloaded it?
Right. So I click the link.
Yes.
What app is on? Is it PowerPoint?
Backspace.
Go, yeah, try backspace. Or try going,
Is there not an arrow at the top?
Okay.
now just go back. There you go. But we're back at the
Wait, no,
beginning again.
go back to the graph tab and click the back arrow.
There you go. No clue. I do anything. Oh, yeah. One thing I want to point out is how beautiful his logo is relative to what they're doing. That shows the animals and the people and the environment, and it shows how you build it into an economic environment. That is a beautiful logo.
Okay, okay. Go to the search bar and search UBRICA'S. Yeah, click on this one. Keep on coming down. Yeah, in the middle. Our UBRICA'S is on health industry. So Industry is where right now it is hosted. So all the coins globally under healthcare industry, there are how many? You go to the healthcare, just go down. So go up. Where the logo is. Keep on going to the left side. Healthcare, click on the healthcare. There are 20 of them.
Y'all are telling me what to do. It's like, where do you want me to go?
Those are the 20 coins in the market today. Those are 20 of them globally. And if you look at where our coin is listed, and we round it now in January this year, it is in the top 7 position. Yeah, that's something I wanted to do. And then if you
how
come
long did it take you to get there?
It is, in the beginning, the focus was not on cryptos. So we
How
built
long
it.
have you been on the crypto market? Just since 2017?
Just 2017, that's when we started working on it. But we released it on January 1st.
This year?
Yes.
Wow.
But what the ones who actually classify them look at what we call, and this is the document I sent to you, known as the white paper.
Yeah, the one that's so long.
Yes.
I read the short one.
They look at what is this going to do? What is the focus? If you go now to Bitcoin and look at the white paper, which is the top currency in today's market, and then compare the white paper of Bitcoin and UBRICA, then you start realizing where the value of UBRICA is. You try to look at where the value of Bitcoin is coming from, their description of what they tell you to do with it, you don't see the value. So if you go now to our website here, this is our UBRICA website. Everything that we have done, if you keep on going up, all these videos is about the foundation of UBRICA itself. When we started doing this with Texas A&M, it was about developing, researching on the problems of healthcare in Africa. All this is what has brought in the value of our clients. Because what somebody looks at, be on the ground to implement it. And then I was left on this side to take care of the other business of the organization.
You know, I know you told us at the beginning of the term, but how did you end up in Atlanta?
And this is actually a story I'm sharing down below.
Oh.
Yeah, that is our general manager, and come out. These are the things, we have now 40 employees in our organization. And we recruited them direct from the university and then trained them on what we need to be done. And they have done a beautiful job. Where we can escape, you'll be able to go through the website. Okay, but let's go to the next slide. That is the whole thing that is behind UBRICA and the whole of UBRICA now in Nairobi.
We need to kind of summarize this in about 5 or 10 minutes too, so that we can let you have a break, and then we're going to let Linda work.
Yeah, and then okay, let me talk about the retail clinic centers, because the money, and I mentioned 20% goes to the UBRICA clinic centers. 10% goes to the Sokojane, which is the e-commerce platform. Then I talked about the 20% which goes to community mobilization. Now the 20% goes to developing the UBRICA clinic centers. And we are building 100 of them, 2 clinics per county. And 10 billion, one clinic will cost us $1 million. So the 10 billion will be able to finance the whole project of the 100 clinics. Acquisition of land, building, equipment, and then we have also factored in a break-even point for the person who's coming to run the URCC as a franchise. That is something we have been able to figure out.
And then the $3 per person for the 300,000 people in each county
Yes.
will, per month, will allow you to run the things.
That's it.
So that's for operating capital.
Yes. So if you can go and click that one, and then maybe you can take a break after that, and then this is now the main UBRICA website. This is the map of Kenya, and this is how we have been, we'll be able now to locate all those clinics. And we have the data of every county. The demographics, the infrastructure, the roads, the education levels, what they produce. And this has been a lot of work. But we have been able to bring it out. Because now, in the implementation stage, we are not figuring out what to do. Because it all started with the research. We have been able to bring it up and document it. So at every county, like we're going to start with a model county in one particular district where we have majority of the shareholders. Because now they understand where we are coming from. Now from the shareholding perspective, and now in consuming the healthcare, the shareholders themselves have been able now to bring all the community members into registering into the cooperative society and then getting in their products through now the e-commerce platform. And you start building from January next year. Well, the middle of this year is now getting the 10 billion out into the market. You'll be able now to use that in acquisition, construction, and in 24 months you'll have 100 clinics.
That's ambitious.
Yes, and that information, when you go to that particular website, specifically about the clinics, it has all the information, where we have come from, what we have done, the models of the clinics. We have put everything in place.
How long has it taken you to put this thing together? I mean, I know the cryptocurrency just started, but for the project itself, how long have you been working?
Yeah, it seems like something for investors, like actual investors need to just all the information.
2014, that's when we registered the clinic.
2014.
2014.
It's not many years.
Yes, but the concept started right here in Kennesaw State in 2007. And Kennesaw State University itself, they did the research for us on conflicts. And I have the whole report with me, and also it will be shared. This is the report from Kennesaw State.
And which department were
That is the conflict analysis. It is just, I think, behind.
Oh, the Center for Conflict
Yeah,
Management.
the library. Yeah.
That makes sense that they would be the ones to do that.
Yes.
You want to look at this just for a second? You can do it during the break.
Oh.
Are we almost done? Because I need to let Lenore present too.
Oh, no, we are halfway.
We need to go faster because we've only
Okay.
got like an hour left of
Okay.
class. Because
You
it's
go
20
first.
till 7.
After the break, I continue.
We need, going ahead, why don't you finish it? I need to have you finished at 1:45. So you got about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
We can't cover
We
everything.
can cover. This is the science and technological parts. We are going to build 66 of them. And we are funding it with the 20% of the UBRICA. This is the biomedical sector itself, which you get 30% of allocation. And this one is now in 2024. Because we first of all bring out the URCC, the research technological parts, and then the biomedical sector. Keep on going. And this is where we're going to develop our medical sector. This is 4,300 acres. And we acquired it through stocks. We never paid money on this. We only sold the stocks. They are holding 2 million of our stock against 1.3 billion Kenya shillings. That should be 100 million through those months. And Texas A&M did the master plan in 2015. I was there and took 15 students from Texas A&M to go and do the master plan on the ground. So the rest of the slides keep on going. This all talks about the people who were involved in doing the master plan itself. And let me mention the people who are working, the students who are working on this project, we are in the bachelor's, master's, and PhD. Each had a designated area of the research on UBRICA.
See, now that's how you should teach entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
You have them out on the ground in Kenya,
Yeah.
who's actually designing the system to implement.
And there's something that can you click on the chemical state link? This is where it all started. Right here. This is the document.
This, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna make that PowerPoint, this
It will be
document
available.
so we can
Yes.
see it? That'd be great.
So you can escape from that and then go to the next one. That one. Texas A&M, they worked on this for 4 years. And this is the whole team that was involved in the academic paper of UBRICA. You can escape from that and then keep on going. This one. Okay. Maybe you can click on the UBRICA vision. Yeah, that one. At least you can hear that. This is when we round to the UBRICA in Nairobi.
How long is that?
We should be about
For myself,
For the rest of working is
all of them are shy.
You can
What
give
you
them
want to see,
the
what you're going to see for the rest of the day. A lot might have happened. UBRICA has been a journey. If you look at that banner there, the word "you" for most of us is unity. Kwa Kiswahili ni umoja.
This is in Nairobi, Kenya, September last year.
Was Ustawi.
This is a master class in how to
The whole
integrate
idea
healthcare
was,
with economics.
how can we be able
Our politicians need to look
to
at this.
turn resources
What's there today, what to do away with their body.
both
No plan to
finance,
replace it.
pack it together and bring it back to Africa. Ustawi also stood for an acronym of US to Africa Wealth Initiative. And this came out of a conference we had in 2007.
Yeah,
in the great city of Atlanta,
Georgia.
Georgia.
You listen. I want you
And we were trying to
Just escape from it.
how to break.
Listen.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, I think I need to let him take a break now, but I just want to thank you so much. It's the first time I've actually